We are beginning this hour, though, with what can only be described as chaos over in Washington. Kevin McCarthy's losing streak continues as he fails to win the votes for House Speaker yet again. Members of the House will reconvene an hour from now for a third day as McCarthy still holds out hope to step into the top job. And yes, Rachelle, we are now in day 3 of this. We've gone through 6 rounds of votes. McCarthy not able to secure the 218 that are needed to become the next House Speaker. We're talking about a 7th round here. Some interesting developments overnight, we should point out, that suggest significant concessions on the part of Kevin McCarthy that would really, if he becomes House Speaker, significantly reduce his power. There's a few things to note. That includes a change on a motion to vacate. McCarthy essentially lowering the threshold, allowing a single lawmaker to force a vote at any time to oust McCarthy himself as Speaker. He's also reportedly giving the House Freedom Caucus, the right-wing faction of the party, 2 seats on the powerful House Rules Committee. And then he's also made a commitment to vote on term limits. This is something that's been raised by Congressman Ralph Norman over in South Carolina. He wants a constitutional amendment that, if ratified, would limit those serving in the House to 3 term limits and those in the Senate to 2. And Rachelle, even with those concessions, there are still 5 Republican lawmakers who have said they are a hard no on McCarthy, and he can only afford to lose 4.
I mean, and it's true. When you think of all the power and all the concessions that he's now whittled away, and still you have some hardliners in the party who, no matter what it seems, no matter what the concessions or no matter what committees they tend to be put on, it's always going to be a no. And as we've been talking about, this is the first time in 100 years that it's gone beyond just one ballot. And as you mentioned, we're now going into the 7th. And when we look at some of the contenders, some of the names that are being mentioned, most of them are actually supporters of McCarthy. You have Scalise as a front runner. You have Jim Jordan's name being mentioned. You have also McHenry's name being mentioned, although he's perhaps got more of an eye on the Financial Services Committee. So even the people who want the role don't seem to have enough support either. And when you look at, obviously, the internet has been having a field day with this. Lots of jokes across the board and lots of memes. You know, the internet is merciless with this. We've seen not only Elon Musk weighing in saying, hey, look, you should pick McCarthy. You've also had Jon Stewart saying, look, this is like the best season of C-SPAN that we've seen so far. And even taking it all the way back to Sesame Street, we have the Count weighing in here. Now that we're at 6 different attempts at this for McCarthy, it is getting a little bit embarrassing. And people are going to wonder, will this continue? Once they pick a speaker, will we continue to see some of this dysfunction, or will they then all rally together? But that's something that we're not even going to know if we can't get past this first hurdle.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of C-SPAN references over the last few days, and I think my favorite there is on the Sesame Street tweet.